Hello guys, good afternoon. You are welcome to YouTube channel, the SPS Tutorials, and my name is Sir Joseph. Please, as you are watching this video, endeavor to subscribe, like, share, and comment. In today's video, we shall be discussing Physics 111, a topic called linear momentum. Please, before I get started, I want to give you a piece of advice. uh, as you listen to this video, I will advise you pay absolute concentration and focus absolutely, because we are going to be deducing a lot of formulas on this topic, because this topic is formula modified. Everything about it is all about formula. The first thing you take note of is the formula, and the second one is what? The application of this formula. You must understand formula first, and secondly, you have to understand how to apply these formula. So once we get started, after giving you all the formula you need to solve questions on this topic, I will now go into the application of the formulas given. Now, physics 101, linear momentum. What is the meaning of momentum? Momentum means the product of mass and what? Velocity. Momentum, I'm going to use what? Something like this. Momentum is what? Mass times velocity. That is mv. All right, we have initial velocity and we have what? Final velocity. Excuse me. Now you know that Newton said that the change of impulse is equals to change in what? Momentum, which means that change in impulse is equals to what? Change in what? mv. All right, impulse is giving us what? Force times time. Impulse is the product of force and what? Time. Momentum is what? mv. Okay, we have initial velocity and we have what? Final velocity. Please, we have m open bracket v minus what? U. The v is what? The final velocity, and u is what? The initial velocity. I want to make f the subject formula, so I'll divide both sides by t. So I'll have that f is equals what? M open bracket v minus u over what? T. This is what? Case 1. This is case 1. Just take note of this. It is very important. Now, an ascending elevator. An ascending elevator. When an elevator is going up, all right, the tension is usually m open bracket g plus what? A. Case what? 2. An ascending elevator, an elevator going up, you say it is what? T. You say T is equals what? M open bracket G plus what? A. Now, a descending elevator is giving us M open bracket what? G minus what? A. A descending elevator, that is elevator coming down. T is the tension, M is the mass, G is gravity, and A is what? Acceleration. But an elevator going up and coming down is giving us what? Mg. All right, take note of that. So these two, this 3, and this is what? 4. All right. Please, frictional force. The frictional force between two bodies is usually given as F arrow is equals what? Fp minus what? Ma. All right, the frictional force of a body is given as what? Fp minus what? Ma. Please, Fp means what? The applied force. It is applied force that keeps the object what? Moving. Okay, take this is case what? Case 5. Case 5. Now, also take note of something. When an object is just laid on horizontal surface, if I have something like this, if I have an object like this, this horizontal, right? This line is what? Horizontal line, and this is a mass I just found resting on the plane. Now, this force that keeps it moving is actually what? The applied force, right? This other force is noted as what? F arrow. And this place is just found being laid is called what? Is the weight of this mass. Then arrow is what? The normal force. Arrow means the normal what? Force. Now, the frictional force of this mass being laid on a horizontal plane is usually what? Coefficient of static friction mg. Alright, so this case what? 6. When an object is just found laid on horizontal surface, you have the applied force, the frictional force, the normal force, and what? The weight. The frictional force of this mass is given as what? Coefficient of friction times mass times what? Gravity. Now go back to case 5, which means whenever you see F arrow, you put what? Coefficient of friction, mass times what? G. You say from equation 5. So which means I'll have coefficient of friction, then Fp minus what? Ma. Alright. Look at it. This case what? 7. Whenever you see F arrow, you put what? This formula that you have here. You now have what? Coefficient of friction times mass times gravity equals applied force minus ma. Alright. Take note of that. So these are the first instances. The first formula is this, second is this, whatever. Anyone can come first, but just take note of the various formula. Don't take one for the other. An ascending elevator going up, it is what? G plus A. Coming down, G minus what? A. Alright. And an elevator going up and down with uniform velocity, it is usually what? M times what? Gravity. Alright. Frictional force is equals what? Applied force minus what? Ma. I gave you an instance, you have it to be this. Since you already have FR to be this, whenever you see FR in this case 5, you put this, you now have what? This. Now, for example, now if I was to make A the subject of the formula, alright, it's going to be this MA will come over, it becomes MA, that is becomes plus, then equals FP minus, it becomes minus because it's crossing to the other side, coefficient of friction mg. Alright, now you have divide both sides by m because I want to make A the solid formula. I'll now be having A is equals Fp minus Ma over, is it Ma? Okay, yes, mg, is that not correct? Over what? M, because I'm dividing both sides by m over what? M. This m going to this m, so I'm left with acceleration equals what? Applied force minus coefficient of friction times mass times gravity over what? Mass. That is what we have here. That is for that for now. Now let us now take the class higher a bit. Now the part I'm about giving you are very, very important, and Uniben loves to bring question on it very well. Okay, these ones are also important. I'm not saying they are not important. No part is not important. All parts are important before you start selecting. Now whenever you hear the word acceleration of a smooth pulley, right, the string of acceleration of a smooth pulley is given as A, the acceleration is given as A, m1 minus what? m2 over m1 plus m2 times what? G. Alright, and of course we know that G is what? Gravity. Smooth pulley. But the tension of this smooth pulley is given as m1 times m2. Oh, okay, no, that is 2 open brackets m1 times m2 over m1 plus m2. All right, so times what? G. times Z. That is what you have it to be. And the tension of a smooth pulley. Why this one is what? The acceleration. Now the net force of the pulley is the square root of 2 times what? T. This T, of course, is what? The tension, which means if you had the tension to be 12, it means that the square root of 2 times what? 12. That will give you what? The net force. That is for what? Smooth pulley. Now, if you now have what is called an air trunk glider, an air trunk glider, all right, acceleration of an air trunk glider. This is the word. Acceleration of what? An air trunk glider. It is usually given as m2 over m1 plus m2 times g, okay? Now, if you now have this air trunk glider, we have a question on air trunk glider where we have 3 masses. The acceleration therefore becomes m1 minus m2 over m1 plus m2 plus m3, all right, times what? Gravity. That is 3 masses where you have air trunk glider. The acceleration becomes this, okay? But the tension of an air trunk glider, that is T, is usually given as m1, m2, that is m1 times m2 over m1 plus m2 times what? G. All right, please take note of something. If, for example, now you were given, whenever you are not giving G in the question, please always make use of 9.8 meter per second squared. Whenever you are not giving G, always make use of what? 9.8 meter per second squared. But if you are giving G to be 10, please use 10. Whenever you are giving, use whatever you are giving. But when you are not giving, please always take note that G will be 9.8 meter per second what? Squared. Now I believe all these things are entering. Now this is for smooth pulley, this one is for air trunk glider. If you now have 2 masses or 2 objects joined together and they are inclined at an angle, when they are inclined at an angle, the acceleration is usually m2 sine theta 2 minus m1 sine theta 1 over m1 plus m2. Don't forget times g. This, okay? Let me take it here. So then times what? G. Okay, take note of that. It is very, very important. Now what is the next one? Okay, I think, okay, this one is objects or two objects or blocks inclined. All right, 2 objects or blocks inclined having angles, you know, have it to be what? This, okay? Now when two masses are accelerating on a frictionless surface plane, when 2 masses are moving with an acceleration, now these forces, they are found on frictionless surface plane. Acceleration is usually m2 minus m1 sine theta over m1 plus what? m2 times g. Do not forget. So I've given you all the formula that you need. Oh no, not all. I just remembered on that one. There's what we call moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. Please, the moment The moment, okay, let me use I rather. That is, the moment of inertia is usually equals moment of disk plus the moment of what? Wax. The moment of inertia is equals what? The moment of disk plus the moment of what? Wax. However, the moment of wax is usually equals m arrow squared. M is mass, then arrow is what? Radius. Arrow is what? The radius. It therefore means that the moment of inertia, is equals what? Moments of disk plus m arrow squared, right? Because moment of wax is this, which whenever I see this, I'll put what? M arrow squared, which I have it to be what? M arrow squared. All right, disk and what? Wax. So these are the formula. So the next thing we have to do, we have to start solving questions on them. Hope it's recording. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. Yeah, so let us start solving questions on them. I have here some questions. Let us do justice to them. Let me hold on. So let me give you some meanings. Just go through it. This one is smooth pulley. This is the acceleration. This is tension, and this was the ninth force. Now you have the acceleration of an air trunk glider. You have this, but when you now have it to have occurred, or you have it occurring as three masses, when three masses are involved, you say m1 minus m2 over m1 plus m2 plus what? M3 times gravity, of course. Now the tension becomes m1 times m2 over m1 plus m2 times what? Gravity. Okay. Now I said that when two blocks are joined together and they are inclined at an angle, you say m2 sine theta 2 minus s1 minus m1 sine theta 1 over m1 plus what? M2, then times what? Gravity. Then you have two masses moving along a frictionless surface plane. You have it to be acceleration equals what? M2 minus m1 sine theta times what? Gravity over m1 plus what? M2. So just go through them, understand them properly, know the applications. So I think we are done. Should I rub it off? I wish this board was big enough. I wouldn't have just rub off anything, just leave it. Okay, but let's rub it off. So just write it somewhere, just write all of them somewhere. Okay, so please, as you are doing it, always pray that the Lord give you uh the spirit of understanding, so that as you are trying to memorize these formula, they will stick and they will never clash. And let us pray for retentive memory. Let us pray for the Lord to give us the brain of understanding, all right? The brain to read and put to play that stuff or anything that we have read. Some persons to read and read and read, yet taking a step to just forget everything that they have read. Spirit of what? Forgetfulness. All right, but as you keep praying, you are fervent in your prayers, you pray to God every day, in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, at night. Tell the Lord to give you retentive memory, okay? A memory that retains and never what? Forget. So please always remember that you may think you are intelligent, but when the enemies come upon you, they'll do all it takes to just terminate you, okay? But when you are fervent in your prayers, they won't what? Succeed. So that is for that. Let us start solving questions on this topic. I've given us all the formula, all of them. So I'll be fast with it. I would love to put the questions on the board before we start solving. Okay, the first one says, okay, I think I'll divide it. Let me divide it. Two blocks, two blocks, two blocks connected by a cord, all right, on a hori- horizontal surface. Full stop. A force pulls on the block as shown below. The card they gave us, they said this one is 25 kg, then another mass you have it to be 15 kg. They are all there is horizontal plane, and they say that F is equals what? 120 Newton. 120 Newton. Calculate the what? Acceleration. Calculate the acceleration. You know what we are going to do here now. So you have F arrow is not given. F arrow is not given. Then you have the mass is usually what? 25 plus what? The two masses plus 15 kg, and that will give us what? 40 kg. All right, and fp is equals that is 120 Newton. 120 Newton. Okay, if you're not relating into this, I think I gave us that F arrow is equals Fp minus what? Ma. So which means we have to calculate for the frictional force. We have to calculate for the frictional what? Force. Which means that frictional force is equals the applied force here is what? 120 Newton. Then minus the mass is what? 40 times what? Okay, which means that in place of this A, I'll put what? 10, which is gravity. So frictional force is equals 120 minus 120 minus what? 400. Now that will give me that F arrow is equals what? Minus 380 Newton. All right. So that is for that. Take note of that. Okay, that is FP. All right, so that is for that. The next question is, I think I will be reading the question for us. I think I'll be reading it, so I don't know. Number 2, a block or a box of books of mass 2.0 kg is sliding across a level floor. A level what? Floor. And its retardation is 4 meters per second squared. Calculate the, let me get another marker please. Calculate the coefficients of kinetic friction. They give us G to be 10 meters per second, 10 meters per second squared. I give us that coefficient of static friction is equals what? F over what? Arrow. All right, F over arrow. But F is what? Mass times what? Acceleration. Then arrow is what? Mass times gravity. Mass times what? Gravity. So mass from the question is what? 2. Then retardation, which is acceleration, is giving us what? 4. Then mass is 2. Then times what? 10. All right, which means I now have that this plus this is what? 8. 8 divided by 20. 8 divided by 20 equals 0.4. So this is the final answer. F over arrow, you have this, you have it to be this, and you have this to be what? This. So they give us mass as 2, the addition as what? Then mass is 2, G was given as what? 10. So we'll say 8 over what? 10. Divided by this is what? 0.4. So if I were to put this one as standard form, it becomes 4 times 10 raised by what? Minus what? 1 in standard form. Okay, so number 3 question. Number 3 question. Number 3, A is 0.84 kg glider on a level air truck is joined by string. Is joined by what? String. So 2 hanging masses. Hanging what? Masses. Alright, M1, it gave us M1 to be 4.8 kg, 4.8 kg, then M2 to be 3.62 kg, the string have negligible mass and pass over light. Frictionless pulley. Now they said calculate the acceleration of the masses. Calculate the acceleration of what? The masses. Now when I was giving us formula, I made mention of what? Air truck what? Glider. Air truck glider. I told you to calculate for the mass to calculate for the acceleration when 3 masses are given. You see that acceleration is equals what? M1, alright, minus M2 over M1 plus M2 all times what? Gravity. All times what? Gravity. Now which means that acceleration M1 is what? 4.84. Okay, 4.8 minus 4. M2 is what? 3.6 over. Okay, since 3 masses are given, it's going to be plus what? M3. Alright, plus M3. So you now have M1 is what? 4.8 plus M2 is 3.6. Then M3 is this other one, which is what? 0.84 times what? 9.8. I told us whenever they don't give us G, whenever we are not giving G to calculate, what will you do? Use 9.8 meter per second what squared. So acceleration now is equals 4.8 minus 3.6. 4.8 minus 3.62. 3.62 minus 6.2 going to be 4. Hope it's 4.8 that is here. Yeah, 4.8. So I have 1.18. 1.18. So 1.18 times this 9.8. I have it to be 11.564 over 564 over 4.8 plus 6.62, okay, plus 3.62 plus 0.84 equals 9.26. 9.26. How will I be having 11 points? No, it's not. Okay, yeah, okay, times this. All right. So I have 11.564 divided by 9.26. So let me check, excuse me, that's 4.84, 2.62, 1.22, 1.22 times 9.8, 2.965, 965 divided by 9.26. Okay, it's 4. Okay, 4. All right. So 4.84 minus, oh God, excuse me, 4.84. So 4.84 plus 3.62 plus 0.84, 9.3. So 11.564 divided by 9.3. Yeah. So I have acceleration to be 1.3 meter per second squared. All right. So that is what the acceleration. Sorry, I took time on this. M1 is, so I made a mistake before. It ought to have been, all right. So then you now have M1 is this, M2 you have it to be this. So added together, multiply by 9.8. Since we're not giving it to be 10 meter per second, so use 9.8. You now have what 1.3 meter per second what squared. Okay. Now, okay, to calculate for the tension now, the tension. To calculate for the tension, you have it to be T equals M1. M1 is what? Okay. Or G minus A. Then because M2 is what? G plus what? A. So M mass 1 is what? 4.8 brackets 9.8 minus, we had acceleration to be what? 1.3, so 1.3. So let us, is it 4 point or 4.84? So you say 9.8 minus 1.3 equals 8.5. 8.5 times 4.84. 8.5 times 4.8.5 8.5 times 4.84 equals 41.14 Newton. All right, so you can also do for M1. M1, okay, what should I do now? Okay, in M2, you are going to be using mg plus what? A, having the what? The lower mass, okay? Now let us solve this one. I think I'm going to be reading. There's no time for this. There's no time at all. If I keep writing, we are not going to leave this place. We'll spend much time writing. So let me just read it. If you can write, you can just try to write something. Let me read. If an air truck glider, if an air truck glider of mass 5 kg is connected to a mass, so you see this one is what? M1 is connected to a mass of what? 2 kg. All right. If an air truck glider of mass 5 kg is connected to a mass of 2 kg with a string over a frictionless and massless pulley, calculates the acceleration of what? The glider. Now, I told us whenever you hear the word frictionless, now take your mind to what? Smooth pulley. Take your mind to, okay, air truck glider. Okay, air truck glider, calculate the acceleration. Now, I told you that in a air truck glider, the acceleration is usually what? M2 over what? M1 plus M2 times what? 2 times G. So acceleration is equals M2 is what? 2, all right, over M1, which is 5 plus 2, and I have what? 2 over what? 7. All right, then times 9.8. I believe this is the right one. So M2 is 2, then M1 is 5, then M, so it's correct. So 9.8 times 2 equals what? 19.6. 19.6. So 19.6 divided by 7 equals 2.8. So the acceleration now is equals what? 2.8 meter per second squared. 2.8 meter per second what? Squared. 2.8 meter per second squared. Now, what if we are asked to calculate for the tension? I'll read the question again. If an air truck glider of mass 5 kg is connected to a mass of 2 kg, which is M1, M2, with a string over a frictionless and massless pulley, calculate the acceleration of the glider. Please, I told us the keyword there is air truck glider. Acceleration of it is this. Now, I told us that the tension of an air truck glider is usually given as what? M1 times M2 over M1 plus what? M2, all times what? G. M1 is what? M1 is 5, M2 is 2 over 7. So which means times what? 9.8. So this times this is what? 10. So 10 times 9.8. 10 times 9.8. I have to be what? 98. So 98 divided by 7, I'll have 14. All right, so which means that tension now is equals what? 14 Newton. This is the tension and this is what? The acceleration. So just follow it step by step, you understand it better. Let's solve another question. All right, I said M1 is 5 kg, M2 is 2 kg. The keyword there is air truck glider. If an air truck glider of mass 5 kg is connected to a mass of 2 kg, calculate the acceleration of the glider, which is this. The tension is of course this. Okay. Now the next question, I'm going to be reading it. Next question goes like this. Okay, which one have we not solved now? Okay, we have solved this one. Okay, have we solved this one? Okay, no, we have not. We have not solved this one. Look at the question. It said 2 particles of mass 6 kg. All right, 2 particles of mass 6 kg. 2 particles of mass 6 kg. Where's it again? Okay, two particles of mass 6 kg, which means that M1 is equals what? 6 kg. Then M2, 14 kg. Two particles of mass 6 kg and 14 kg are connected by light string passing over a smooth pulley. Did you hear that word? Smooth pulley. What is the tension in the string? What is the tension in the string? The word there is what? Smooth pulley. Smooth pulley. Smooth pulley. Now, I told us that the acceleration of a smooth pulley is m1 minus m2 over m1 plus m2 times what? G. Alright, they said we should calculate for the tension. But before we look for the tension, what will you do? You will have to look for the value of what? Acceleration first before you calculate what? The tension. Okay, I think I will calculate it straight ahead. I think we can. Yes, we can. So which means I have it to be 2 m1 m2 over m1 plus m2 times what? G. Alright, so this is the acceleration and this is what? The tension. Yes, I can do it straight ahead. But if we are asked to calculate for the net force, it means I will have to look for this before looking for the net force. Okay, so I have tension now is equals 2 open brackets, m1 is 6, m2 is 14, then times 9.8 over m1 plus m2, I think I have 20. So this side is going to be, you say 14 times 6, 14 times 6 equals 84 times 2, 168. 168 times 9.8. 168 times 9.8 equals, tension is equals what? 1646.4 divided by what? 20. You do bracket first. You say 6 times 14, let me be sure, 84 times 2, 168 times 9.8, 1646.4 divided by 20 equals 8. So tension now is equals what? 82.32 watt Newton. So that is the answer, 82.32 watt Newton. What if we are asked to calculate for the net force? The net force. Now I told us that the net force of a smooth pulley system is 1.414 times what? Tension. So net force is equals what? 1.414 times 82.3 watt 2. So I'll say 1.414 times 82.3 watt 2 equals, so the force now, that is net force, is equals what? 116.4 approximately, so Newton. So this is net force and this what? The tension. Just take it step by step. Okay, the next question is this. This is the next question. All right. Okay, if I'm, let me read this question again so you know what we just did better. I said, where's the again now? Okay, two particles of masses 6 kg, which is m1, and 14 kg, which is what? m2, are connected by a light string connected by light string passing over a smooth pulley system. This word. What is the tension in the string? The tension of a smooth pulley system is this what? 2 m1 m2 over what? m1 plus m2 times what? G. 9.8. I told us before. So let's take this question. Which one? Where is it again? Okay, there's like two particles, like two particles of mass m1, which is 7 kg, and mass m2, which is what, 9 kg, are connected by light in extensible string passing over a smooth fixed pulley. Look at the word here, smooth pulley, smooth pulley. What is the force on the pulley? What is the force on the pulley? What is the force on the pulley? Smooth pulley. Now I told us, you see now, for me to calculate for the force of a smooth pulley, we have to look for the word tension first. Now the tension of a smooth pulley system is 2m1 m2 over m1 plus what, m2 times what, g. Now m1 is what, okay, 2 open brackets, 7 times what, 9 over, okay, don't forget, times 9.8, 9.8 definitely. Then this plus this, I have it to be what, 16. So the next thing is 9 times 7, 63. 63 times 2. I have 126. 126 times 9.8. 126 times 9.8. I have it to be 1234.8 divided by 16. Divided by 16 equals, I now have to be 77.175 Newton. This is the tension, but the tension calculate for the force. Net force is equals what? 1.414 times what? T. This is T. So net force now is equals 1.414 times 77.175. So 77.175 times 1.414 equals, so net force now is equals 109.125 Newton approximately. Okay, so that is to 3 decimal places. 3 decimal places. If it was to be 3 decimal places, it would have been 1.3. So this is a force that we asked for. Is it the tension? If we asked to calculate for the, where is it, 2 particles? What? Yes, we are asked to calculate for the force. So this is the force, and what? This is the tension. You must look for the tension before you look for the force. Okay. Now the last question for now, the last question before I call it a day on this topic, is going to be this. Look at it here. This one, they said a disk of moments. Okay, I think I write on the board. A disk of moments of inertia 2 times 10 raised power minus, let me bring it this way, please. 2 times 10 raised power minus 2 kilogram meter watt squared is rotating freely. It's rotating freely about an axis through its center at 20 rad per second. Calculate the new angular velocity. If some wax of candle 0.05 kg is dropped gently on the disc 0.1 meter from the axis. from the axis. Now, I gave us something when I gave a relationship between disc and candle wax. All right, moments of inertia. Thus is moments of the disc plus moment of what? Wax. Moment of disc plus moment of what? Wax. But I told us that moment of wax is equals what? M arrow to what? Squared. M arrow squared. Now, moments of inertia is equals, okay, before I start solving, let me bring out my parameter. Okay, moment of inertia. Okay, this is the value of the disk. That is moment of the disk is equals what? 2 times 10 raised power minus 2 kilogram meter squared. That is for the MD. Please, this one is just there. It's not applied in the calculation. Okay, calculate the new angular velocity if the new wax candle. Okay, mass now. Mass is what? 0.05 kg is dropped gently on the disc. Okay, 0.1 meter from the axis, which is distance. Arrow is equals what? 0.1 meter. Now, mass of the wax is equals what? M arrow squared, which means that mass of the wax is equals, mass is what? 0.05 times 1 is power what? Times 0.1 squared. This is the formula. This is the mass and this is what? The radius. So 0.1 times 0.1 is what? 0.01. 0.01. So 0.01 times 0.05. I have it to be 0.01 times 0.05. I have it to be 5 times 10 raised power minus 4. 5 times 10 raised power what? Minus 4. But new moments, that is the new moment of inertia now. New moment of inertia, I think that's what? Mass of disk, mass of what? Disk, plus mass of what? Wax. So you see Mi is equals, mass of disk is 2.10 raised power minus 2 plus mass of wax, which is 5 times 10 raised power what? Minus what? 4. Okay, so 2 point, is it 2 times 10 now? So let us take it like this. So I have a okay, so this is what we are going to do. Now this is M1. If I want to put this in ordinary form, it becomes 0.02, right? Plus, if I want to put this in ordinary form, it becomes 0.0005. Right, so let's add everything. It's better like this. You say 0.02 plus 0.0005 equals, so you have Mi to be 0.0205. Alright, to express this in standard form, you say 2 times, or let's use point, 2.05 times 10 raised by what? Minus 2 ns. All right, ns. All right, that is okay. That is kilogram meter squared. All right, so the answer is what? 2.05. So just follow it step by step. You have mass of wax, because this formula, square it, you have this 0.05 times 0.01, you get this. Now, they said it is a disk of moment of inertia. This is rotating. Calculate the new angular velocity if some wax of candle zero is dropped gently. The new one after this mass was dropped. Okay, so you now have it to be this formula, mass of this plus what, mass of wax. All right, so we now have it to be this. Just the next question, which I'll be running off with, I'll give us to be okay, I don't know. Should I don't feel like erasing it, but I'll erase it because I don't have much time. Okay, another question. A box of books. Okay, I think I've done this one. A body hangs from a spring balance supported from the roof of an elevator. If the elevator has an upward acceleration, the elevator is moving upwards. Is definitely T equals what? M open bracket G plus A. Is moving upwards. If the elevator has an upward acceleration of 3, which means that acceleration is what? 3 meters per second squared, and the balance reads 500 Newton, which means the tension is what? 50 Newton, rather, 50 Newton. What is the true weight of the body? Which means that we're calculating for the what? Mass. We don't know. So T is equals what? Okay, we are calculating for the mass. Okay, which means that we are going to divide both sides by G plus A, which means that mass is equals tension over G plus what? A. So mass is equals, tension is what? 50 over mass. Gravity is always 10 normal. Then that is why we are talking of elevator now. Elevator 10. Then plus which one? The acceleration, which is 3. So I believe that is it. So 50 divided by 13. 50 divided by 13. 50 divided by 13 equals, mass now is equals what? 3.85 kg approximately. That is the answer. I'll read the question again. Okay, a body hangs from a spring balance supported from the roof of an elevator. If the elevator has an upward acceleration, whenever you hear the word upward, bring out the formula first. Acceleration, which is 3 meters per seconds, and the tension reads 50 Newton. What is the weight of the body, the mass? All right, you now have it to be what? 3.85 approximately kilogram. Okay, that is what you have it to be. There's a question I'm looking for here. I don't want to leave it. I do not want to leave it. Oh God. Couldn't be I did not bring out the question. It's not here. Oh God. It's not here. So I don't know. I thought I brought it out. So the question is very important. The question relates F arrow to FP minus MA. Alright, so you know that I told that F arrow is what? This equals what? FP minus what? MA. We were asked to calculate for the value of what? We were asked to calculate the acceleration. I thought I wrote down the question, so it's not here now, which means that automatically we are almost done with the questions. Okay, so is there another one? It is finished too. 8 questions just now. Okay, 9 questions. Okay, the last one is two blocks at rest, inclined, frictionless, connected by light string, pass through a pulley. Find the acceleration of the system if the first mass 5 kg at an angle of 30 and the second mass 5. Okay, so I told you when two masses are inclined, I told us something that the acceleration is definitely m2 sine theta 2 minus m1 sine theta 1 over m1 plus m2 then times what? G. I told us before. M2 from the question is, I'll read the question again. Two blocks at rest on a inclined frictionless plane connected by light string pass through a pulley. Find the acceleration if the system of the first mass, which means that first mass m1 is what? M1 is 5 kg, and that means theta 1 is what? 30 degree. Then m2, okay, 8 kg, then at angle of what? 60 degree. Alright, they gave us G to be 10 meter per second squared. Now, two blocks at rest on a inclined frictionless plane connected by light string pass through a pulley. Find the acceleration if of the system if the first mass 5 kg at any angle of 30 degree, which means that the angle of the first mass is for 30 degree, and the second mass is 8 kg at an angle of what? 60 kg. Now, so this is the formula, which means that A is equals m2 is 8 times sine 30. Will be sine 30 should be 0.5 sine 30, yeah, 0.5, which means that because sine 30 0.5, then minus m1 is what? 5 times sine 60 should be 0.860. Let me try it again. Sine 60, yeah, 0.860, so 0.8660 times 10 over, so m1 plus m2, right, which means that this plus this, so 5 plus 8, and that will give us what? 13. So acceleration is equals 0.5 times 8 equals 4. Okay, 4 times 10, you have what? 40 over, okay, that's minus 5 times 0.8660. I have 4 points. Okay, not yet. No, that is not that it is done. Sorry. So I have, that was a big mistake. 8 points. 0.45 times 8. Then I have it to be 4 minus, everything here is 4, then minus, then 5 times 0.8660 equals 4.33, all right, times 10 over what? 13. So it means that 4 points, that is 4 minus 4.33 equals, okay, times 10 is equals 3 points minus 3.3 over what? 13 equals, so 3.3 divided by 13 equals 0.25 meter per second squared approximately. Let me go through it again. Sine 30 is 0.5. 0.5 times 8. 0.5 times 8 equals 4. You have it to be 4. Then 5 times 0.8660 equals 4.33. The 4.33 minus this, you have 4.33 minus 4. 4.33 minus 4, 0.33. So 0.33 times 10, have 3 point, that is minus 3.3, then times divided by 13. 3.3 divided by 13 equals 0. So it's minus, so minus. So that is the final answer. So at this point, to call it a day, please, thanks for watching. Endeavor to subscribe.